Okay, this part of 10.2 on variables and expressions is trying to create expressions based on some numbers that have a pattern. Now, first thing I want to express to you, actually I'm going to go to a different screen, is whenever you have a T-chart like this, right, and you have these numbers, whatever numbers you happen to have, right, I want you to be very aware that through all the things that we do and the labels that we provide, this side of the chart will always represent X, and this over here will always represent Y. Now later on this will make sense because if you remember back in chapter 1 on the Cartesian plane, in order to plot a point on the Cartesian plane, you need an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. So actually these numbers and the patterns that they have can create what's called a linear relation. But we're going to get to that eventually. Okay. Now, for what we're going to focus on right now in this section, we are going to use X right here. But this part right in here is where we're going to place the expression that we create. Now, you may be going, what the heck is this guy talking about? And I understand. So don't panic. So I'm gonna hop back and forth here from note to note, screen to screen, I should say. I want to look right here. So I've got this kind of a weird set of notes here. Maybe I should make it better someday, but these represent steps. Okay, these represent steps in finding out an expression. You can come up with the expression for anything by following a simple process, and this is the beginning of that process. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how, let's look at this one right now, how, if this stuff over here on this side is our variable, right, is X, how do we make 1 become 3? How do we make it become 3? Okay. Now we're gonna use this one as an example, and we're gonna use this screen right here. Okay. Now the first thing we will always try is to just take X by itself, and we'll add or subtract something. Okay, we'll add or subtract something. So if X is 1, what do we have to add or subtract to it to get to 3? Right, we'd have to add 2. So then our first expression that we're going to try is X plus 2. Okay, so it works for here. So if X is 1, we add 2 to it, and we get 3. Fantastic. Let's go down here. If X is 2 and we add 2, oh, that doesn't work. That's 5. So that means this expression does not work. So then the next one we're going to try is 2x plus or minus a number. So let's try it. 2 times x. So let's go back here. Let's look at x as number 1. So if x is 1, 2 times 1 is 2. And then what would we have to do to it to get to 3? 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. That's right. Okay, plus 1. So let's try that one. Let's look at this one. Now, if x is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Ah, it worked. Okay, so let's try it on the next one. 3. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Oh, it worked again. Let's go to the next one. 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And it worked there as well. So this is our expression, 2x plus 1. Now, if this didn't work, we would cross it out, and we would go to, what do you think would come next? We have x, then we have 2x, 3x is correct. Okay, 3x, well, let's write it over here and be consistent, plus or minus something, right? And then we'd figure it out, and we just keep, and you keep going. 3x, if that doesn't work, you go to 4x. That doesn't work, you go to 5x. Now, at a certain point, I actually like doing it right at the very beginning. you're going to try this, x squared plus or minus something. So if we're doing that here, we'd look at our first one and we'd go x squared, okay? So if x is 1, x squared, that'd be 1 times 1 is 1. Then I'd have to go plus 2. So that would be x squared plus 2, right? And then I try over here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Oh, that doesn't work either. Anyways, this is one of them as well that you have to try. I wonder if I'm doing an okay job explaining this. I hope so. Okay, go back to these notes here. So what I want you to do is I want you to give this a try. This one we already did, this first one. So this is 2x plus, what is it? Plus 1. And that is correct. So I want you to give these a try. Okay, let's take a peek. So for this one, I am actually going to go through the process. We're going to take x, and the first thing that we're going to do, remember back over here, we just take x by itself, and we add or subtract. So if x is 1, I have to add 3 to it to get 4. So I'm going to go x plus 3. Okay, if x is 2, and I add 3, that gives me 5. Oh, that works. If x is 3 and I add 3, that gives me 6. That works. If x is 4, I add 3, it gives me 7. So, wow, that was pretty easy. X plus 3 is our expression. Now, if it didn't work, I would go to 2x plus or minus something, then 3x, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's try this next one. So, again, I'm going to start with x. And if x is 2, I would have to add 3 to it to get to 5. So I'm going to try that, x plus 3. So if x is 4 and I add 3 to it, that's 7, not 11. So that means this one's wrong. So now I'm going to go to 2x. So back up to the 2, up to the very beginning. 2 times 2 is 4. I'd have to add 1 to it to get to 5. So my expression is 2x plus 1. Let's try this one. If x is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That still didn't work. Okay, so what do we try next? 3x is correct. Okay, so back over here. 3 times 2 is 6. To get to 5, I'd have to subtract 1. So 3x minus 1. So let's try it with the next one. 3 times 4 is 12. Minus 1 is 11. Oh, that worked. If x is 6, 3 times 6 is 18. Minus 1 is 17. That's good. If x is 8, 3 times 8 is 24. Minus 1 is 23. We got a winner, right? So our expression is 3x minus 1. All right, let's try this next one. Again, I'm going to try x all by itself. So x looks like I'd have to add, if x is 2, I'd have to add 3 to it to get to 5. So x plus 3. Okay. If x is 3 and I add 3 to it, that's 6, not 10. That means this one's out. Then we go to 2x. If x is, and we go back to the beginning always. Okay, we always start to for the first couple, the 2 numbers there. So if x is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So let's try this one. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Still didn't work. Okay, so that one's out. So now I go to 3x. So 3 times 2 is 6. To get to 5, I'd have to subtract 1, just like our last expression. So let's try this one. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 1 is 8. Oh, that doesn't work either. Now at this point, if you haven't tried it already, you're going to try this one right here, the one with the exponent. Okay, so we're going to go x squared. And hopefully you remember what x squared means. X squared is the same as, you have x squared. Oops. X squared is the same as x times x. It's not x times 2, it's x times itself. Okay, so if I have x squared, so if x is 2, that means it's 2 times 2 is 4, then I'd have to add 1. right? Let's try it with this one. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Oh, that one worked. If x is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. Looks like we got a winner. And 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. Good. So our expression there is x squared plus 1. And that, my friends, is how you work these. Now, on the website, there is right here, this worksheet right here. That's a good one, identifying expressions. And it's the same process that we just went over. And then you can bring that to me and I can check over the answers if you'd like. Okay, that's the end of this video.